Hi there, my name is Simon Horton. I'm the founder of Negotiation Mastery, and recently I've been posting a series of presentations about online negotiations and why they fail more frequently than face-to-face ones do. Obviously, in recent times, negotiations have moved online more and more, and sometimes there is no alternative, and sometimes that is the best channel to use. But the research does clearly show that email negotiations are more likely to go wrong than face-to-face ones. So we need to be aware of this, and we need to be able to address it. In the last presentation, we looked at the 8 main problems email negotiators face and how they can address that. In this presentation, we're going to look at our best overall strategy for remote negotiations. And if we follow this strategy, we're most likely to get our best outcome from the deal. Now, it turns out that the best approach is a blended approach. Each channel obviously has its advantages and its disadvantages, and we need to be aware of these and then consciously choose at any given point in a negotiation which channel to use given their advantages and their disadvantages, and this way we can best leverage the attributes of each channel. And we're talking about face-to-face, video conference, phone or email. Obviously there are other channels as well. You can negotiate via Twitter or TikTok if you like. I generally don't recommend those, so we're going to stick to these 4. If it's at all possible, then meet face to face. The quality of the trust, the quality of the relationship, the quality of the communication is so much better face to face, so you want to make that your channel of choice. Human beings are pack animals, and so there is something very primal about meeting somebody in person, especially when it comes to trust. So use that. Use it to build the relationship too. So start with some informal chit chat, end with informal chit chat, smile a lot, make jokes, these kinds of things. And also use it for the opportunity of the richness of the communication available. So ask lots of questions, listen to the answers. They should be talking a lot more than you. Look out for the non-verbals, the facial expression, the body language. Listen out for the tonality, for the emphasis. Really tune into the nuance and then ask more questions to clarify it even further. And all of these things are much easier to do face-to-face than they are via email. And they're going to give you huge amounts of information. They're going to help you make the negotiation go really smoothly and help you get the outcome that you want. And I encourage you to have a meeting right at the beginning of the negotiation, and then you don't have to have so many moving forward because you've already set up that connection. Now, each channel has its drawbacks as well, of course, and the disadvantage of face-to-face is that it's not very convenient. In fact, sometimes it's logistically impossible. So if you can't do face-to-face, next best alternative is the video conference. With video, you can still see their face, you can still ask lots of questions, so you still have that high quality communication. An advantage of video over face-to-face is obviously you can conduct it remotely. So you can have the China person, the New York person, Paris person, all in the same meeting at the same time. And if you think about it, these days, when we're working from home so much, if you set up a video conference, you're effectively inviting them into your home. And that's quite a personal thing to do. You know, maybe the kid runs into the room and says, "Daddy" or "Mummy," or maybe the cat runs across the keyboard or something. So this is quite personal, which is very good for building trust. So start the negotiation with a face-to-face meeting, if not video conference, and failing that, pick up the phone. Experiments have shown that email negotiations that started with a phone call got much better results than those that didn't. And if they started with a face-to-face meeting, they got better results still. And you can use these upfront meetings to agree the process of the rest of the negotiation. When are you going to email? When are you going to meet face-to-face? These kinds of things. And if you do find the negotiation getting a bit tricky, don't hide behind the email, pick up the phone. And if it's really getting tricky, meet face-to-face. It's so much easier to resolve these tricky situations through these other channels, so it's worth using them. But the key point here is that you are aware of the advantages and disadvantages of each of the channels. And then you consciously choose which channel to use at any given point in the negotiation. So when should you use email? Use email if organising a meeting isn't worth the effort. If you've just got a simple question to ask, well, send a short email, and obviously that's going to be your best strategy. Use it too if you have to transmit a lot of clear factual information or raw data, especially if you've got lots of it to get across. Use it when you want to leverage its multimedia capacity. So maybe you want to send a slide deck or a spreadsheet or a graph or an image. Use it if you want to ask a sensitive question or there's something that you want to say that could be sensitive. Sometimes these things are done best face-to-face, but sometimes they're best done email, because that way you can wordsmith it and find the right language. That's up to you to take a call at any given time. Along similar lines, use it when you want to take your time to think it through. When you want to process it, when you want to find the right language, the compelling language, or you want to give them time to process it and think their response to it. Maybe you're sending them lots of information that they need to process. And then lastly, use it when you need an audit trail. Obviously, email is fantastic for providing that audit trail. Now, it's easy to use email and always default to email because it's the most convenient channel, and it is. But be aware of its pitfalls and be aware of the fact that email negotiations simply are much more likely to go wrong. So then consciously make the decision. Should I send this via email? Or should I pick up the phone or organise a Zoom conference or have a face-to-face meeting? Which do I think is best? And that conscious, calculated choice, as opposed to email because you always email, is going to get you much better results. So know which channel to use and when, but it's more to it than that. There are still many ways that email can undermine our negotiations, and I'm going to post another short presentation on exactly how it can do that and how we can avoid that, so that our online negotiations can go as well as we would like them to go. Look out for that presentation, but in the meantime, if you've got any comments or any questions, do drop me a line at Negotiation Mastery. My name is Simon Horton, and I wish you the very best of luck in all your negotiations.